Hello viewers, welcome to the show Back to Eden, and on today's episode we'll be having an organization called Greenworld. I know some of you have heard of it, while some of you have not. So our guest in studio will tell us more on what Greenworld is, but from my understanding, it's an organization that deals with agribusiness and also conservation of the environment. So my guests,
Yes.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Maybe introduce yourself, who you are,
Yes.
and tell us more.
Okay. So my name's Isaac Otieno. I'm the secretary of the Green World.
Okay.
I'm Vincent Okech,
Yes.
the executive officer.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've heard the name of our guests. They've introduced themselves. Mko salama leo?
Tuko salama,
Tuko salama.
tunashukuru.
I'm also okay. We are doing okay. So tell us more on the organization. What is it actually? What is Greenworld?
Okay.
Yes.
So Green World is an organization which is empowering communities through agribusiness and environmental conservation. So besides empowering communities, we are running rehabilitation and economic empowerment programs in prisons. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned agribusiness. Which parts or which sectors of agriculture do you cover?
We are covering agribusiness in holistic, but we are doing it in phases because before we start rolling out a product, we look for the market. So currently we have a market with Kenya breweries, and that is why we are doing sorghum. We are also doing sunflower because we have a market. And in poultry, in the previous clips or my talks, we were talking about kienyeji poultry. But for the last few months, we are now introducing these broilers in partnership with Kenchik, because broilers takes roughly 6 weeks. So we also have market for the broilers. So currently we are doing sorghum, sunflower, and broiler.
It's okay.
Yes.
You've also mentioned you do conservation and rehabilitation.
Yeah, environmental conservation. Now, under environmental conservation, in fact, this show is coming at a very timely stage, whereby we have a COP27 event happening in Egypt,
Yeah, I've heard of it.
containing over 200 countries. Now, in environmental conservation, you find that there's a lot of climate change, and most of our communities are being affected. If you watched for the last few weeks, so many counties are crying of hunger. There's a lot of drought. The animals are dying.
True.
Yeah, so we've come up with an idea of conserving the environment, whereby we do tree planting. This tree planting, we've modeled it in a way that we start with schools.
Yes.
Each county, we are taking 200 schools.
Okay.
These 200 schools, we give them 1,000 tree seedlings. When we give them 1,000 tree seedlings, the best 10 schools are given some rewards and are also being motivated. So under environmental conservation, that is the way we've taken, because we were thinking of renewable energy, but these are expensive methods. Though we are trying to ask our partners and probably the government so that we can also come with the modern technologies to tame the climate change.
Okay.
Yes.
You've mentioned something, COP27
Yes.
conference. Maybe someone may not understand what is that.
Yeah, so COP27
Yes.
is a conference of countries who are going to come up with an idea of mitigating or the climate change, because we've been talking of climate over years, but people continue, the drought is still there. Now over 200 countries are coming together to talk about the technologies of curbing the environment.
Okay.
Yes.
So another thing I wanted to get, rehabilitation for prisoners, or under which group,
Yes.
category of people?
Thank you so much. We are doing rehabilitation in Kenyan prisons, and we've gone to over 20 prisons.
Okay.
Within Nyanza, because we're in Kisumu, we've been to Homa Bay GK prison, we've been to Kodiaga, We've been to Kibos Prison, Kisumu Women. We've been to Vihiga Prison, Kakamega, whereby we've also been into Shusha, among other prisons. Now, under rehabilitation of these prisoners, you find the inmates, in most cases, have been regarded as a misfit within the society. But you find in most cases, these people, they are our brothers and sisters, and they have their families, and most of them are dependents. Now, by the time they are in prison, it means their dependents are suffering. So we've come up with an initiative of rehabilitating and also giving them economic empowerment. Like now we launched a SOGAM project, which we are carrying in most prisons in Nyanza and Western. Whatever sales we make, the money which comes from the sales are going to benefit the inmates and their dependents.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that is interesting to note,
Yeah.
because most organizations only focus on, let's say, the community, excluding those in prisons and those who might need help.
Yes.
So that's an interesting, let me say, idea. Or it's very good to see
Yes.
that people are not left out.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell us, has the organization been, how long has it been operating? It's a new organization?
Yes.
For those who might not know.
Yeah, Greenwall has been in operational since 2018. When we were starting in 2018, we were targeting community, but the approach we gave the community that time did not materialize well, because that is the time Kisumu Breweries was opened, and there's a project Kenya Breweries was carrying out in the community.
Yeah.
So we took those white sorghum and rolled to the community, but it did go well because there was a lot of flood, and also most of our community members, as long as they are trying to endeavor the agriculture, but they didn't take it seriously. So there was a lot of loss. So from 2018, we said, now we can't keep on leaving projects hanging like this. Let us now focus into prisons. So when we went into prisons, I've told you we've covered over 20 prisons. What we did initially was meeting the management, discussing with them on how we want to do implementation and go about this. So our implementation we started by this year, June, which is going so well.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe our second guest can cover this question.
Yes.
So you talked about Greenwald, what it is and when it was established. Maybe tell us the area of coverage. Is it only in Kisumu or is it countrywide, internationally? Can we find the organization? Where can people get it? As in globally? Is it, what's the word? It's just
our area of operation.
Yeah, your area of operation.
Exactly.
Thank you. Maybe you can tell us more. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. Our areas of operation,
Yes.
as in Kenya,
Yeah.
we operate all over the country. In fact, we started it in Nairobi, and we learned that back at home here, there's need. So we came with an idea to come to Nyanza, and being in Kisumu, we started it in Homa Bay. The places that we visited first. We visited Homa Bay as a county, and then we came to Kisumu as a county, and then we are expanding to other counties. And it is that we had the idea of training the youths about trees, and we wanted to train also the communities what is important in trees, because we find that trees are something to do with life. Now, and people never knew what to do with the trees, and yet they are using the trees, the indigenous. After finishing the indigenous trees, we find that the climate is going wrong. Now we come with an idea to train them to plant more trees. If you cut one, plant 5. This is what our late President Moi was talking about. Cut 1, plant 5, in order to maintain the environment. Now, we being here, we're going around to train them, and we are connected with the people concerned with the forest. So they know what kind of trees that we can plant in which areas. So we are going around with them to train the communities and even to plant the correct trees that can survive in what kind of soil. Yes, where there is too much water, we have the trees that can absorb water. Where there's less water, we can plant the trees that cannot affect the crops. We come up with the ideas of feeding them, because you give somebody a tree to plant and he's angry. Now, we give them poultry to sustain them as they wait for the trees, because we also plant trees for cars to help the community. Trees take like around 3 to 5 years to be mature, so that we can sell them to feed the community. As they are waiting for the trees, we venture into sorghum, sunflower, and the poultry farming. This is what we are trying to do with the communities, to let them know how beautiful the trees are. Also to make the environment to be beautiful, as the trees are the ones to maintain the environment.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that's a good answer, and it's very enlightening, because most of us ignore the importance of trees.
Yes.
And also, some of us don't even know there are certain trees that should be planted in certain areas.
Yes.
Mwingine atapata mti apande,
Yes.
na ajui si mti inafaa ipandwe hapa.
Yes.
So it's good to give information to the community. And I believe as you guys empower the community that way, it will serve the greater good, and also improve the climate and global warming at
Yes.
large. And also, like, another question, sorry for bringing you back to the agribusiness sector. So the people you teach, are they only the youths, women, or everyone? And also to look at the business side of it, to teach people, because right now we are in an economic recession and everyone is feeling the impact.
Yes.
Everything is skyrocketing. So maybe tell us the type of people you target in the community, say the youths. The youths for a long time been looking on white collar jobs.
Yes.
Mimi ni daktari, mimi ni pilot, and so on. So something prestigious to say when you're in a city.
Yes.
So tell us the business side of it, and also the people you're targeting.
That is okay, and I'll take you back to my introduction.
Yes.
When I was talking about the Green World.
Yeah.
I said is an organization which is empowering communities. When I talk of communities, I included everybody.
Everyone.
Yes, but now to be more precise, the first phase, there's a project or a launch which is happening, which is coming up by 11th next February at Karanda Primary School, Nyando Sub-County, whereby most of our invitation letters, we've said, unveiling Green World Youths in Agribusiness. Now, we laid a lot of emphasis in youths, just as you said, because most youths are looking for prestigious jobs. In fact, there's a time when I met a team of groups and I told them that I'm a farmer. And they said, no, as they can't associate themselves with farmers. They don't want to be dirty.
Yeah.
So I told them, no, me, I'm a farmer, but not a must that you have to do it practically. You just tell them what is supposed to be done. Now, we've come up with a very exclusive model of tackling this agribusiness. When we talk of youths, these youths are not going to go to the farms directly that they are farming. What we are going to do, because there are challenges just in terms of climate, there are areas which don't receive rainfall, there are areas which do not have conducive land for agriculture, like in Seme there, it's too stony. What we do as an organization, we are a national organization. We put groups together, then we find land anywhere within our country and lease these lands. After leasing these lands, wherever they are, you might find the youths are in Kisumu, but like now we have chunks of lands in after Kisii, Kilgoris. In Kilgoris, in Kiancha, we have big lands. Now what we'll do is that we'll only know that this group of youths are 10. How many acres do we reserve for them? Now, when we harvest these 10 acres, after making the sales, whatever the sales are, we are going to divide by the number of the members. The youths we are using them, or we are working with them as landmark, but that does not necessarily mean that when we talk of youths, we are only going to concentrate on the youths. By the time of harvesting or getting the results, we are going to include the community with that region, and we're going to make sure that everybody is getting something. When we talk of sorghum, which we are rolling out now, it takes around 3 to 4 months. But 3 to 4 months, youths are very difficult team to deal with. So you must know how you're managing them so that they be comfortable. And I thank God most of the youths we are unveiling are very much cooperative. And we don't just pick youths at randomly. We go to different institutions and we tell them that this is a pilot test. We don't want this project to fail. We don't want it to backfall. We want to lift our community and make them know that Greenwald Jobs also pays. So by the time sorghum project is going on, we are also going to do poultry, which takes 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, because in our Kenyan environment, the white collar jobs they are talking of, people are paid on monthly basis, which is 4 weeks. So it will be easier for a youth to wait for 6 weeks and get something, other than telling him to wait for 4 months until harvesting. So this is the way we are working it out. We are also working with the people with the disabilities. We are working with the old, and we are working with the old community. It's only that we are doing it in phases.
Okay.
Yes.
So which phase are you now currently?
The first phase we are now in is mobilizing youths, which we've done. We've registered them. We are going to issue them with certificates on Friday 11th.
Okay.
And I'm happy that amongst our guests, we have Chief Officer for Agriculture Kisumu County, Mr. Manga. We have County Commissioner, Madam Dorothy, or who? The County Commissioner. Though she has delegated to Deputy County Commissioner Nyando Sub-County, who has confirmed coming. It's my pleasure also to say that we extended this because agriculture is a devolved function. We had talks with the Director of Devolution, of Administration and Governance, Mr. Kwamo Leonard, and he really embraced the project and said we should also extend the letter to the governor, which we did. We've even written to the governor. So there are so many guests we are expecting on 11th at Karanda Primary School, Nyando Sub-County.
Okay.
Yes.
And you mentioned something, the issuing of certificates.
Yes.
So are the people you talk to taken through some training of some sort, or how do they acquire these certificates?
Yes, what we did, because there are projects we are doing in prison, whereby we launched a sorghum in prison as an organization, but we saw the need of coming to the community. So we are partnering with the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, and in conformity with Youth Enterprise Development Fund, you must put these youths into small groups of 15, whereby they register as youth groups. So that is what we were doing. We've put them in groups in conformity with the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. But the whole thing is the Greenwald. That is why when we are going to issue certificates, we are saying Greenwald Youths under Agribusiness.
True, I was getting to that because I've also gotten some information concerning the registration and the grouping. So it's good that you've mentioned it already.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've told us the ongoing projects that you have, the future ones. Is it only the one in February next year, or is just this?
No.
There's something coming.
We are saying, as we want to create great collar jobs, we want to make our community busy. And this project shall be carried concurrently. Like if we say, I did mention a sorghum which is taking 4 months. Yeah. By the time we are waiting for those 4 months, we'll be doing poultry, which takes 6 weeks. After every 6 weeks, we are going to make sense. By the time we are waiting for those 6 weeks, we are in environment. We shall be planting trees with the same youths all over. We are talking of 200 schools per county. That is just one phase. Okay. The second phase, we are taking 600. Third phase, 1,000. So it's a continuous thing because they are members of the organizations, they are beneficiaries of the organizations. They must also be kept busy.
Okay.
Yes.
So speaking on registration, if I want to register, say a viewer is watching us right now or might watch us later on, how do they register with you people?
Now, when a viewer is watching us, Greenwald is open to everybody. You just have a given the nearest, because at least you shall be having a link. When you want to register, for instance, you are now in Kisumu, you are at Mamboleo, you will go to the relevant person, or you group yourselves into 15, 15, 15. After putting yourselves into 15, 15, you communicate with us. Once you've liaised with the person linking us, we shall take those forms. We process the registration as an organization. You are not involved in any monetary thing whereby you are told you go pay for certificate, pay for facilitation. The organization is going to stand 100% on this project. Because when you tell a youth to register with 500 shillings, that one is as if you are chasing him away. But once we know where we're going to get funds, we are going to process everything in that. After getting these funds, now when you tell them that we've processed funds and each group is given 100,000, out of these 100,000, we are going now to get your registration of 500 shillings of your registration from the money you've already given them. Are you getting the sense?
Yeah, I'm getting
now
it.
Also on just to expand it on the poultry, initially we used to give out some of these chicks, then we tell them to feed by themselves. It came out that when you're expecting this week maybe so and so is going to feed these chicks, he said, oh, I didn't have money. And the birds we are dealing with are very fragile, so their lifespan is very short. So we came up with an idea that instead of you people feeding the birds, we as organization, we shall be feeding the birds on your behalf.
Okay.
So what you do when you meet on a weekly basis, you just contribute 100 shillings. That 100 shillings you are contributing, it shall come when we've implemented this project and we know that you now have funds. We won't want a youth or any community member to use his own money. You are using the money we've given you. Okay. Like when you talk of registration, which is 500, you only register after the money has hit your account. When we start weekly contributions of 100, you only contribute 100 when we've given you our money which is in your account.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a solution, I guess.
yeah, we hope so.
Yeah, because many people get scared when it comes to funds.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so it's good to see that that's also covered.
Yeah.
And in terms of the business aspect of it, so let's say we've gotten, say, poultry, the chicks.
Yes.
In terms of getting the market, sasa wamekuwa, do you connect us with the market out there ama sisi ndo tunatafuta?
Let me use a little bit of Kiswahili, but you'll excuse me. Sasa ikikuja upande wa soko,
yeah,
kijana ama community, si kazi yako kutafuta soko. The organization inafanya kila kitu mpaka soko. Wewe tunataka kuangalia end project ya kwamba pesa imeingia kwa mfuko yako. Hiyo ndio kwa maana tulisema ya kwamba zile miradi ambazo tunafanya, kwanza tunatafuta soko. Tukishatafuta soko, tuelewane na soko, ndio tunaleta hiyo mradi pale. Sasa kwa wakati mingi unapata hao vijana wako na mambo mingi, akili mingi hapa na pale. Sisi wenyewe kama shirika, I hope so, tutafanya management ya project zote. Wewe uko tu pale, we just meet you big. In fact, we shall have a structure whereby from sub county up to ward, up to small groups, we are going to have the officials who are going to guide you on day-to-days business or affairs of the organization.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not an excuse to our viewers. Umesikia vizuri, kazi ni kufanya tu kazi now hand in hand.
Yeah.
And not be worried about finances, the market, some things that normally disturb us as business people.
Yes.
So it's good to have you on studio, and I know there's a lot we've not covered.
Yes.
Yeah, but as you can see, time is up.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you guys can maybe introduce yourself.
As I said initially, that I'm Isaac Otieno. I'm Secretary General of the Green World. And if you want to register with us, it's very simple, because there's where you got this information from. That is the person who is going to link you, as long as the groups, you have small groups of 15 and you are ready. We shall come there with our team. We have a very big team. We shall train you. The first thing is to register the groups. After registering, training. After training, in fact, I forgot to mention that we are going to open for every individual a bank account. There are banks we've talked to, so it won't be a case whereby after harvesting, someone is bringing to you hard cash. All the money shall be in your account, and we are hoping that that this is the best way method. We are going to do it to avoid corruption and to make sure that everything goes into success. We also want to thank GPV, Go Preach Gospel TV, for inviting us here, also to enlighten community. And we shall also be using media as our watchdog, because the things we are saying, we must make sure that they succeed. So more often than not, we shall be meeting various media personalities to make sure that our things are running on smoothly, and also it spreads to the wider region.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, to come up again to say my name again, Vincent Okech. And as we are closing, we have to thank the GPG very much for this time that they have given to us. As I finish, I want to say that what we are doing is not only generally for youths. As youths, we start with from 18 up to 35. Within the youths, we have also the communities. But we're bringing up the youths first because we want to train them so that they can train others tomorrow. This is the job that we can do with the retired people, even those with the disabilities. So long as you are ready to join the group and we work together. We are here to do away with the poverty. We are doing poverty eradication. And if we are doing away with the poverty eradication, we don't have jobs. And this is why we are coming here to create a kind of job that people are going to do for their life. For the rest of their life, they can embrace this, and we do it continuously. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for staying with us. And we've learned so much, and their target is to eradicate poverty,
yes,
and also to be sustainable as people of the community, so that you cannot cry later, maybe I don't have a source of income, what will I do for life?
yes.
If such organizations do exist. So thank you for being with us. I've been your host, Helda Apio, and this has been Back to Eden. And I hope our guests will be back sometime soon.
Definitely.
To tell us more on Green World Organization.
Yes.
Thank you and be blessed.
Thank you.